Hello, San Diego. I'm doing a walkthrough today on this property. We have these oak trees and we've been taking care of them, so we want them to grow taller, wider, and stay healthy. That way they can give some privacy for this pool area. So right now we are in October 8th, 2025. So our weather started to change a little bit now. From summer we're in fall now, but our weather now is we're starting to feel colder mornings, a little colder, fresher afternoons. So that means with our irrigation, checking the soil. Oops. So the soil looks wet. I'm pretty sure this area got watered today or yesterday, and we got some fungal activity right here, some mushrooms. See? So as long as they're not on the tree, it's a good sign. But it looks like we got some fungal activity. We'll have to keep an eye out on this tree. And this is just a flower, but the fungus is underneath. You can see how they web into the soil, and lots of ants. Yeah, this tree, it's looking good. These are all very small trees, so they've all been pushing out a lot of new growth. We got some dieback right here. Slippery. So some more dieback over here. Doesn't look like it's powdery mildew. Yeah. Okay. What I am gonna do is just remove some of this ground cover from around this tree. We don't want the base of the tree to get covered with soil, mulch, or ground cover. We want this tree trunk to be able to breathe. That way it doesn't have any root or crown rot issues. So I want to keep this as clear as possible. Yeah, almost 1 foot. This one doesn't have any. Oh, there we are. We got some acorns. We have some acorns. It's interesting that this tree is not growing as fast as those two over there. So we'll go over there right now and check to see what's going on with those trees. So yeah, soil moisture is good. I know this tree has plenty of water. And right now in October, we can start dialing back the water slowly, because we're still running on summertime schedule. So we can start saving some water now, and we also don't create issues for this oak tree. These trees, the older they get, the more established, they become more drought tolerant. So we need to make sure to keep this clear, and then after this we'll go and check the timer to see what's going on. So now we know there's plenty of moisture, lots of moisture here. Yeah. Yep. And we can see our soil here is sandy with clayish, lots of sand. And we are in Pacific Highlands Ranch here in San Diego, California. Okay, so you guys can see these are bigger. This one's taking off too. Now what I don't like about this tree, it's nice that it's filling in, but we have two codominant leaders. That's a problem that we're gonna have to either address. I didn't want to cut one of these back right now in summer, But going into winter might be the best time to start reducing some of these branches from this codominant. We want to have one main strong leader. Otherwise, when this tree gets big in the future, this crack here is, if the tree ever, there's a lot of wind, this is a spot where they can crack and split open. And also over time, like you can see this leaf, more leaf and debris starts falling in, or it builds up over time, and that's where you start building up decay. That's an issue. So yeah, this tree, we might, even though it looks nice, filled in, I might have to remove that whole one of these branches. That's going to be a hard choice. Yeah, we might have to remove the front one and leave this back one here. But that's going to leave a huge gap. So I'll have to talk to the owner, make sure he's aware of what our plan is. That way he has a nice tree long term. It looks nice right now, but I don't like the structure. 5-10 years down the road, that's going to be an issue. So right now is the best time to fix it before this tree gets bigger. So, I don't know. I think I might remove this back one, because we do have more growth on this front one. This front one's going to have all that back growth. Once this one's gone, then this area is going to push out more branches. So I think that might be the best plan. I think I'll slowly start removing branches from this codominant. That way we can get more airflow going in there before we just take out this whole thing. Yeah, that's why tree selection is important before you plant trees. This tree was already here when we started maintaining the property. So yeah, I might do some work on this tree today. For now, we're checking soil moisture so we can update our timers, our run time. And we're putting away this ice plant. We don't want this ice plant to grow up against these trunks, because otherwise then moisture builds up around the trunk, and we don't want this main part of the trunk to rot out. So we try to keep mulch away from up against this, or ground covers. Usually we got more mushrooms right here, more fungus activity. So I'm not too concerned right now. The tree looks healthy. There it is. As long as we don't find the mushrooms going on the trunk of the tree. But I'll talk to the homeowner and see if they're okay with us maybe applying some fungicide in this area. So we might have to cut back on the water, because it's also a sign maybe of too much water now, since we're going into fall. Okay. The ground cover's healthy. It's nice and green. That's what we wanted. We wanted this hill to fill in. We can prevent erosion, and it did well this year. It did well this summer. It's all green, covered all the areas, so when it rains, this is going to suppress all that water. We have to drain down there, so that handles all that water that falls down, but this ground cover breaks all that rainfall. So that's all filled in now. Now we just have to keep up with these areas, make sure they don't overtake or grow onto these tree bases and the palms. But yeah, I think for sure we're gonna have to reduce the water today. I might go with reducing, maybe not reducing the amount of days, but we'll cut back on the watering time so that it's not as much water. There is a lot of mushrooms growing, and we don't want this to turn into have some fungus diseases going on later on with these oaks. Same for the palms. We're going to be cutting back this ground cover around the base to keep the bases clean. Same with the bird's paradise. But the base around these trees is really important because these trees do want these trees to provide privacy in the future. So we really need to take care of these trees. Yeah, more mushrooms over here. So all these areas are the same. They're all in the same irrigation station. These trees don't have an individual bubbler because they get more than enough water from this irrigation that waters the ground cover. So let's keep this area clean. And as we go further into winter, we're going to reduce the water more, especially if we start getting rain. If we get rain, then we'll either turn off the timers or reduce the amount of days. If we're watering 3 days a week, we'll cut back to 2 days a week, sometimes maybe even 1 day a week. But right now I'm thinking we're still in fall. We just went into fall. So I'll leave the same amount of watering days, but I'll for sure cut back the time. Yeah, this one's pretty close to the tree trunk. Yeah, we might have to get some fungicide just as a preventative for these trees, because these trees don't really need a lot of water